What's up? Just got back from seeing the most spectacular Spider-Man movie ever, and I'm about to tell you why. Now, before I say anything, this movie was made by Destin Daniel Cretton, the guy that did Wonder Man and also Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. This is no longer made by John Watts. John Watts did the Home trilogy. Now I guess Destin Daniel Cretton's gonna do the Calendar trilogy. If you don't know what the Calendar trilogy, well, we have Brand New Day, brand new month, and a brand new year. I'm kidding. We have Darkest Days after this, but besides the point, I'm assuming Darkest Days is gonna be something about symbiotes or something like that. It sounds venomous. But but don't worry, there's no venom in this movie, even though this movie is jam-packed and tangled in terms of a casting and characters. There are characters up the wazoo in this movie, even though this movie is supposed to be the more down to street level Spider-Man you can get in a MCU Spider-Man movie. I say that because, well, we have the Hulk, we got Punisher, you got an organization that controls the Hand. Two organizations in this movie because, the Hand is also an organization within itself, even though there's usually are controlled by some other type of organization. And we also have a mystery character that is, for the rest of this video, this mystery character is going to be left unknown in secret because they basically revolve around the plot. Like, they are up in the plot, they are tangled up in this plot. You literally cannot go anywhere, you cannot stray from the plot without bringing said mystery character along with it. You also have Michael Mando as Scorpion, who was originally the big bad, but now he's just like a throwaway villain. Maybe he was never supposed to be the original big bad, but how the original beginning trailers kind of start him off as, it kind of imply he may be just the villain of this movie. He's a villain, not the villain. He's basically like a throwaway villain. Like, you see like Michael Mando for a whole less than 10 minutes in this freaking movie. But he does do a really good Scorpion. I just wish there was more Michael Mando Scorpion. But again, it's nice to see Voss back and Voss back on the cameras. I mean Scorpion, not Voss. I definitely meant Scorpion. But yeah, it's cool that Voss is playing Scorpion. I gotta say that. I didn't really put two and two together when I saw Spider-Man Homecoming originally. I didn't really, I didn't really recognize him as Voss in that movie. I'm gonna be honest. Until he tweeted about it. Until Michael Mando tweeted about it, I didn't really put two and two together. But that's pretty cool. I will say, speaking about video games, you can definitely tell that this movie is heavily video game coded and inspired. Definitely inspired by Insomniac Spider-Man games, seeing that both Peter and Zendaya, or both Tom Holland and Zendaya played the Insomniac games. And when I mean coded by it, just the way how the structure of the story is kind of told. And also on top of that, there's finishers, like the fancy moves that you do inside the Spider-Man game itself. They're literally tangled throughout this movie, woven throughout this movie like a perfect rep or strong or whatever. Trying to use spider puns throughout this movie review. It's not working out well. But yeah, you can definitely tell that the video game moves and the finishers heavily inspired this movie, and also just woven throughout this movie. You can definitely tell they were really big fans of Insomniac Spider-Man. But I think this movie adds a refresher of the MCU Spider-Man. Was a pretty good take. I think what they did with Bruce Banner and the Hulk did work and intertwine well within this storyline. Granted, this is not the first time Hulk and Spider-Man teamed up / fought each other. If you're an average comic book reader, you would you will recognize multiple references in this movie, and also recognize that they've teamed up and they fought each other before in the comics. I will say that I've seen people theorize that this movie kind of felt more accurate if it was Lizard instead of Hulk, but it kind of makes sense in terms of the contrast of who the main villain / main big baddie of this movie is. Talk about Hulk and the role Hulk and Banner plays. It just kind of makes sense for him to be in this movie instead of the Lizard, mostly just because the Lizard usually has control of their mind, and that's about it. I don't want to really go into spoilers too much because, yeah, this movie is literally intertwined and tangled with spoilers, like literally all over it. But again, so I don't really want to go into spoilers too much. I will say with the hand, even though the hand was not in this movie that long, probably like maybe 5 to 6 minutes, definitely under 10 minutes. Yeah, the hand were not in this movie that long. They were definitely like a puppet of this movie. Granted, the hands have always been a puppet, especially in the comics. There's always been like some mastermind behind the hand. And that's definitely what it is in this movie. Granted, that's, how it was in Daredevil as well. There's mastermind behind the hand, being Kingpin, and I think Elektra was, I don't know, it's been a while since I watched Daredevil. It was also like 4 o'clock in the morning. My theater had an early showing. I am literally kind of tired and burnt to brain rotted. Just burnt to brain rot, I guess. But yeah, definitely a spectacular Spider-Man movie. This is the best New York has ever been, even though it's not even New York, it's Glasgow, Scotland. But Glasgow, Scotland looks like a fantastic and amazing New York. Really great. They did a really a good job dressing up Glasgow, Scotland as New York. But even though knowing that, it kind of takes your immersion out, I kind of wish they just set this movie in Glasgow, Scotland instead of imitating it as New York. But whatever. You can't really, choose much, I guess. John Berthold does a really good job with this movie. Him and Peter just has phenomenal chemistry. And I mean, you can see that on and off screen, and even off screen in interviews. John Berthold and Tom Holland alike have shared multiple stories that like they've been like father figure and like best friends and stuff in real life, and they've known each other for a long time. So that makes sense that chemistry carries over well in front of the cameras. And again, that's also same goes with Spider-Man and his friends, MJ and Ned. Those actors and actresses, those chemistries that those 3 characters and actors share on and off screen, very, very well, very good. And you can, even though they have amazing chemistry, this movie also allows for some of their acting chops to shine and show in this movie, because majority of the world forgot Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So it's nice to see those acting chops, acting dumb of who Peter is and his identity, even though they've known this for a decade, and literally 2 of them are married, or I guess fiance in just fiance in real life and whatever. I might be wrong. I think they're actually married now, but who knows? But yeah, this spectacular movie on all. Destin the actor, not actor, but movie director, he's really good at, humanizing the heroes and the characters and making them kind of not resemble the audience, but, kind of just, like, hey, we're on the same level. Like, we both go to high school and college, we go through puberty and stuff. So it's definitely, very leveling with the audience. We saw that in Shang-Chi, we saw that in Wonder Man, and you see that also in Brand New Day. Good soundtrack and, scenes altogether. It's especially scenes where he's just swinging throughout the city and stuff. Absolutely amazing. I think that's all fantastic. And just overall, a really good, visually stunning movie. It just looks amazing. It looks impressive. There's tons of darkness and depressing topics throughout this movie. It's kind of a darker Spider-Man Spider-Man movie, even though kind of being darker, it's also a little lighter in tone every now and then, especially like the very ending. There is post-credit scene. It's not really big, but there is a post-credit scene very end the movie, kind of just telling you that Spider-Man is going to come back in Secret Wars, and that's about it. But yeah, overall, I think the cast did an amazing job. The new characters were amazing. Sadie Sink, really good. I just think every actor did a fantastic job in this movie. I just wish there was more of some certain characters and kind of less of others. But overall, really spectacular Spider-Man movie as a street level Spider-Man movie for MCU. I'd say street level because this movie does set up for future sagas of the MCU down the line that, are coming up, especially with a certain, undisclosed character. That undisclosed character does set up a future saga that's coming very soon. Yeah, I think they did a good job. I think they nailed it out of the park, and that Brand New Day is certified badassery, and it's certified spectacular. See you in theaters this weekend. Brand New Day, you know what's up. Until then, until next time. Pew, pew, pew.